Hi everyone, Miss Cotran here. This video is going to give you an explanation and the answers to the Desmos activity you'll be completing today, and it is on angle relationships. So once you click on the link, you'll join with your name, and the first question it asks is, what is the measure of this angle? So the angle is what's in blue, okay? An angle is, it's the measurement of rotation. So there's two arms to an angle, and it's measuring how much rotation there is between the two arms. And we look at the center. The center where the two arms meet is called the vertex. So this is called a protractor, and it says use the protractor to measure the degrees of this angle. So I show you this because it looks like the corner of a box. It looks like an angle you're familiar with. Remember right triangles when we were doing Pythagorean theorem, right triangles? They form what kind of angle? What kind of angle do you think this is? It's a right angle, right? You can see that one of the arms is on 0. That's not measuring the degrees. The degrees actually is right here. How many degrees is this? It's 90. So if we explain this, then it's 90 degrees. It is 90 degrees because it is a right angle. Okay, a right angle. They're the same thing. Okay. Okay, next. Use this line tool to make two arms of an angle and include the vertex. It wants you to create a 45-degree angle. So I want you to think about this, okay? 45, I don't know if you know this, is half of 90. So if we look back, I want you to make an angle that is half as big as this. So it's not going to look like the corner of a box. It's going to look like half the corner of a box, kind of like a little mouth, right? So we need to find 45 on the protractor. We also need to use the line tool. So here's a line tool if you remember. The first arm is always going to line up horizontally with 0. That's the first line right there. And I don't know what color I made that. Oh, I made it blue. Perfect. Now, I want you to find 45. Clearly, when we start at 0, we look at the top row, it goes 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So 45 is between 40 and 50, right? So it's probably about right there, would you say? Yeah, so that's 45 degrees. And then I'm going to combine I'm going to make a vertex right there. So that's basically where the two arms meet. So this is 45 degrees right here. Okay. I could say a 45-degree angle is half of a right angle. You could also say a 45-degree angle, and we'll see the name of it, is called acute. Okay? It's acute. Like this is a right angle, this is an acute angle. And I usually do this with my arms when I go the other way, right? So we have, I don't know if you can see me, but we have a right angle, and then we have an acute angle, which is about half of 90. Again, it's anything less than 90, but this is 45. Okay? All right, let's go to the next one. Use the sketch pad, circle all the acute angles in the picture. Okay, and in the answer box, explain why these angles are acute. Okay, I'm going to tell you. Just like something that is cute is small. Like, oh, the baby is so cute. Oh, the puppy is so cute. It's because they're babies, right? Then they grow up and sometimes they're not so cute. That was my joke for today. So, an acute angle is something that is less than 90 degrees. Clearly, a 90-degree angle is not acute, all right? No, it's not acute. That's a right angle. What about 60? Is 60 less than 90? Is that smaller than 90? Yes. So this is an acute angle. What about 45? We just drew that. Isn't that an acute angle? Yes. Now the angles can be flipped the other way. So these are going to be flipped in the opposite direction. Oh, sorry. They could be flipped in the opposite direction. Sorry. So 60, 45, and then what about 30? Is that less than 90? Yes. Okay. So what about 120? Is that less than 90 or more than 90? That's not acute. That's actually called obtuse because it's more than 90. And 150 is a obtuse, like a big angle. So that's not less than 90. It's more than 90. So for our answers, we're going to say these angles are acute because they are less than 90 what? 90 degrees. Okay, that's what that little circle is. It's degrees. Okay, next. Use this protractor to measure the angle. Okay, remember how I said the angle can flip the other way? So if you think like, here's 90 degrees, right? Well, what if I flip it the other way? Boom, right? It's like this. Well, this is still acute, right? Because it's less than 90. So we're still starting the arm at 0 degrees and we're counting the top here. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, right? It can't be 130 because 130 would be opening up the arms all the way more than 90, and that would be called something called obtuse. So 50 degrees, okay? We can say the angle looks like it's less than 90 degrees. All right? Okay. And we can also say it is an acute angle. All right? Next, what is the measure of this angle? Now, what I wanted to show you is we saw a right triangle. We saw an acute angle as well. Right angle, acute angle. What happens when it opens up past 90, right? So when it's more than 90, we call it obtuse. So think about someone who's overweight or someone who's obese, right? They're overweight, they're big, yeah? Who knows why? And we're not judging them, but they are big. Obese, think about that. Obtuse, right? So I'm teaching you a vocabulary word. This angle is called an obtuse angle. It actually, the degree of rotation, if you look, here you're at 0. Now, I'm not actually asking you to read the top anymore. Notice that? I'm asking you now to read the bottom. Read the bottom. So this is 90 degrees. And then as we go past 90, we're 100, 110, 120. This looks like what? This is, I got two choices, right? 53 or 127. So what do you think it is? It's 127. So this angle is, what's the word I said? Obtuse. It's obtuse, which means it's greater than 90. Degrees. You're on that? Okay, halfway done. So now visually, just looking at all these angles, I've told you an obtuse angle is greater than 90. So are any of the top angles obtuse? Yes or no? No. What about 120? Is that greater than 90 degrees? Yes. What about 150? Is that greater than 90 degrees? Yes. Okay. So those angles are obtuse because they are, I'm just going to say, greater than 90 degrees. Okay. They're greater than a right angle. Next. And what are the names of these angle relationships? So there's 2 names you need to know. Well, there's 3 names you need to know, actually. So angles have these relationships. It's super important that you understand when you see a right angle. Now, sometimes 2 angles can be touching, adjacent, and they have a relationship. So if 2 angles form a right angle, that means they add up to 90 degrees. When they add up to 90 degrees, we actually call these complementary angles. All right. Now, sometimes we haven't talked about this type of angle yet. Super important, though. Okay. You can have an obtuse angle, a right angle, an acute, a right, an obtuse. And then if it's a flat line, when it opens all the way up, I want you to just notice something. Hold on, let me go back for a second, just so I can show you a protractor. If this angle opened all the way up, right, two of the arms, one would be pointing to 0, the other arm would be pointing to 180. So angles that form a line could be called linear, because you could see how this angle, which is 52 degrees, if we add 128 more to that, well, that makes 180, right? And then we look at this line down here, and that's like the 0 over here and the 180 over here. So when two angles form a line, they're actually called either linear or supplementary. Can you say that? Supplementary. So we have two examples. These are the two angles that add up to 90. They're called complementary angles. You have to realize these two angles, because they form this line, they're called supplementary. So we have some choices now. Okay, when we look at these, are these angles supplementary or complementary? They're complementary, right? And then these ones could be called linear. They could also be called supplementary. So both of these choices are right. Oh, I don't know if it allows you to do both, but both of them are right. Whatever you choose, okay? And your thinking could be, if this is your answer, you could say supplementary angles are also called linear angles because they add up to 180. Okay, awesome. Let's keep going. Now, you use this information to solve for x. So very simply, it says, how do you find the measure of this missing angle? So these two angles, you see the box? The box indicates what? These angles add up to 90. This is two angles that add up to form a right angle. So if they add up to 90, you have this angle, which is 62 degrees. That's a little acute angle. Plus x. We don't know how big this angle is, but we know that together they add up to 90 if we added them together. We need to subtract from what? So we got to do some subtraction here. Because again, subtraction is the opposite of addition. So you could say we could subtract from, how many degrees do they add up to be? Okay, we subtract from 90. So essentially what we're talking about is saying something like this. X plus 62 degrees equals 90. And if I were to solve the equation, wouldn't I just subtract 62 from both sides? So like x is going to be, in my calculator, I'm going to put 90 minus 62, whatever that is, right? And if you don't have a calculator, so easy to just get to an online calculator here and say 90 minus 62. Oops. Which is 28. So that means that x is not just 28, but it's 28 degrees. You get it? Okay. So let's talk about this. Now remember what I said. We have actually two angles, these orange arms, right? Two angles here. This big angle is 110 degrees. This, I'm going to call this obtuse angle is 110 degrees. This acute angle is 70 degrees. Okay, when you add them together, what do they make? Did I already say it? I don't remember. Think about it. What's 110 and 70? Add it in your mind. Think about it. You go from 0 all the way to what? 180. They add up to 180. Okay. So we could say these are linear angles. These are also called supplementary angles. You need to know both of those vocabulary words. Okay. Which means they add up to 180 degrees, right? They form a line. They're linear. Okay, last one. You have two angles that are touching. Can you tell, if you look at this line right here, that together they form a line? So this one is 130. Clearly it's an obtuse angle, okay? This angle right here is an acute angle. We need to figure out how much is it. So we're not going to subtract from 90 here, are we? Because these are supplementary angles. They're linear angles. So we're going to subtract from what? What do they add up to be? I've already told you. They add up to 180. So we're going to subtract from 180 degrees. If I set this equation up, I would say if I added this unknown angle, which is x, and I added it to 130, well, guess what? That would be 180. So if you subtracted 130 from both sides, then x would equal 180 minus 130. You following me now? Okay, so in your mind, can you do that mentally? 180 minus 30? Really, in your mind, just think like 80 minus 30 or 8 minus 5. What's that? It's 50, right? 50 degrees. This little obtuse angle here is 50 degrees. All right. So you're going to watch a video on this on Thursday, and hopefully this was helpful for you. Have a wonderful day. I love you very much and miss you very much.